All right. Not in my garage, obviously back down here on the farm. This is gonna be a farm projects video. Starting with 445. I came down here today, brought the Jetstar 3 back from the 4th of July parade. I'll put some of that video up later. 445 project came down today. I spent some time doing a lot of little things on it. The gauge panel. I've got some of the wiring. Well, one of the wires that needed hooked up to the back of the amp meter hooked up. I still got to get this wire goes to the coil. This wire comes from this is the hot wire from the battery. So this needs to go to this other post on the amp gauge. This needs to go to this other post here on the ignition switch. Had the oil pressure gauge hooked up. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see that or not. Oh yeah, split. So plan is we'll cut that off. I don't know. We may cut it down somewhere where we got nice, clean, smooth, polished up line somewhere, and either splice in a short section of copper line with some compression fittings, whatever, but that's got to get fixed. What else on the 445? The hydraulic pump is back on, yay raw. The line is hooked up, yay raw. Return line is not, because of the loader and the way it was all rigged together. Dad bought a new hose. The way they had run the hose, it went, oh boy. Say hi, 5-star. Hi, 5-star. So we're hooked back up. We're hooked back up over here to the reservoir tank. And it goes down, and it's this hose right here is the return. They had actually run it up over this shaft, which it was laid flat, so we're going back underneath. But when we go underneath, we don't have as much room, and they probably went over the top so that they could run they had a female, male, whatever, elbow into here with a short pipe nipple for their connectors instead of bar fittings. It's all pipe fittings, everything they've done on this return line. Anyway, it was coming over the top of that shaft and then down into whatever. Anyhow, we didn't like that. Dad's gonna he's gonna get a short pipe nipple here, a female elbow, and a hose barb. So we're gonna hook on out in here somewhere. Much better connection. I'd already replaced this hose when I had it at the house. What else did we do on the 445 today? Got the cable routed sort of for the choke. I'll finish that up once the gauge panel's fully mounted. Then I'll be able to figure out where that goes. And that's not the right carburetor anyway, so that's got to come off. I have got my replacement manifolds here ready to go. I got to get this side panel's got to come off, so I got room to get in. I don't necessarily have to do it, but I want that off, so I got more room to get in to get that manifold off. We also replaced this lower radiator hose here. It was like so rotten and cracked. It was just, yeah. Anyway, that's good. We got a gallon of antifreeze and a gallon of water in the radiator. Still not full. Just set that back on there so don't lose it. Dad's planning to get more radiator juice tomorrow or Monday. I think I'm gonna work on trying to get that side panel off later today yet. The other big farm project is the Model D corn sheller. Well, let's just get right to it. The top of the clean grain elevator was in bad shape, and Dad has been slowly working on making brackets and reinforcements and whatever to to try to stiffen that up at some point in its life. Somebody had added a couple feet to the unload auger, which added additional length, which meant more down pressure, and it really did a number on the top of this elevator. If you can see over here how thin and cracked and beat up this is, and it's the same way over here. It's just kind of beat up, but we're hoping with this pretty substantial angles, that just some scrap metal we had laying around, with the metal that we've added around on the sides and the back and these pieces, and we got another piece back here holding all this together, and these angles sit right down on top of all this big heavy stuff that has got supporting arms on. Hopefully with all that, when we get it all back together, that should be solid. The conveyor chain, the paddles are beat up pretty bad from rubbing against where it was bent and beat up. So that's the main project there, is just getting the top of the elevator rebuilt. On the actual machine, take a quick walk. If you watched any of my haymaking videos, some of the short rows, and it's starting to come back. There's a lot of red clover coming up. Usually the second cutting here has got a lot of grass clover mixed hay. You can see a lot of orchard grass. There's some clover coming in. Walk up here to the old truck. Dad's 1981 GMC Sierra, 3/4 ton, 350 transmission. Dad bought her brand new, and we ragged it out. All right, so here is the rest of that big project. You can see, let's see, right in there where they welded on more tube. You can see down there where it gets shiny. That's aluminum that someone has wrapped around because the corn and the flightings and stuff had worn completely through the tubing. Big project here. While we've got it apart, it's kind of hard to tell with everything. That bearing feels really dry. It's hard to tell with all this stuff rubbing against. That's pretty dry. One of the other things we did while we had it apart, we took it to a auger shop, and they ordered us the new tube. They also ordered, I don't know, like a foot or 18 inches of new flighting, because it was worn down. I mean, it was like almost gone down here at the bottom. So they cut all that off and welded in new flighting. So Dad's got you can see how bad this tube is decayed and rotted and rusted and just worn out. It got so bad last year at the show, we brought some thin sheet metal and wrapped around and hose clamped it, because we were dumping so much corn on the ground out of that little hole. But anyway, down there on the other side of those trees, let's see if I can zoom in. Right there, it's focusing on my finger, is the top of the grain elevator, little town of Glenwood. Just south of there, there's a farmer that does got kind of a little machine shop kind of thing that has been helping Dad out. Dad's gonna be 80 years old this fall. And I live 90 miles away, so I can't get down here to help him with a lot of this stuff. So yeah, we're spending more money than normally we would, but you know, what are you gonna do? Anyway, that's the big projects. The 445, getting hydraulics going on it. Get focus. I zoomed in. What am I doing here? I don't know. I'm filming on my phone. I normally use a handheld handy cam thing. Anyway, yeah, so 445, we're slowly getting it back to where it's going to be usable. one project left to go. It might take us a day or two yet. Someone has, this thing is wide. I mean, it is really, really wide, and which is fine, I guess, if you're doing a lot of loader work, but we're not planning on doing silly heavy loader work, but we want forks, and so we want to use it. But they slid it way out, and instead of like putting new pins in these holes and welding in there, they just put some chicken gum bubble shit weld there to keep it from moving. So my brother, Union Millwright, will come down, we'll get him down here, and we'll grind that loose, and then see if we can't get the front end knocked loose and slid in. Back end won't be too bad. When we got the tractor, and it looks like it's maybe loose already. When we got the tractor this past winter, the wheels weren't on it, and there was no hub on this side. So we stole this hub off a parts tractor I had, and we just tried to line it up the same. I wish I'd have gone ahead. I wish I'd have thought ahead and cleaned up and slid it all the way in where we really want it to begin with. But that's once we get the front end narrowed up. Back end won't be bad, because okay, that's new bolts, all fresh, put together. This side over here, though, is going to be a treat, because someone tried to get the hubs off, and bolts are bent and beat up and boogered, and there are no nuts at all. You see here where they started getting this one out and didn't finish the job. So this is going to be a treat. It may, I don't know what we're going to do exactly. Part of me wonders about, I don't know, cutting the heads of the bolt. I got that one loose a little bit too, but cutting the heads of the bolts loose and trying to drive the bolts back the other way, trying to get in here and cut them. I don't know if we could get in there with a torch with a real fine flame and cut those off, and then we can press, once we get it apart, get the hub off the axle, press them out. I don't know. We definitely want to narrow up the tractor, because I mean, it is, short of flipping the dish around on the pressed steel wheels, it is as wide as you can make it. It just barely fit between the wheels on the bumper trailer. Takes up too much barn space. Yeah. But so yeah, that's where we're at on 445, and oh, you know what? Another little farm project we worked on today. I got a separate video of it. It's probably more of a short. We'll get that uploaded later. This has actually turned into a longer video than normal. They got lots of tires. Not many of them much good, but you know what? One that's not very good is better than one that's bad. Oh. All right, so here was the other little farm project for today. We got the little 5-horse Briggs with the gear reduction mounted to the little corn drag elevator. Had it running earlier. I'll show you it running, and I did videos, I think. I've done videos on it. I don't know if I've uploaded them or not, but the plan is this will go down to the show with the corn sheller, and we'll dump into this and dump from here into the sheller, just because it'll be easier to dump into this big, I don't know, 6 foot wide conveyor or 6 foot long conveyor, dump into that, and it will be to try to hit just the little chute at the bottom of the conveyor on the sheller. But yeah, that bad boy there had some bad valves and stuff in it. Pulled the head out, pulled the valves out, went through the carburetor, cleaned up the valves, found out the valve tappets were way too close. The valves weren't closing all the way, which is probably why they were all carboned up. I need to get a valve grinder so I can touch off those stems properly. Anyway, I just hit it on my bench grinder and got it to where now they're a little loose, but you know what? A couple thousandths loose doesn't kill me. It runs. It actually runs real good. Just see when I get the video of it running. So, conveyor chain. This is gonna be one of my longest videos yet, I think. Just me walking around, talking, drinking a beer down on the farm. There's the trailer. Wish it was about 2 feet longer. There's the old truck. Wish it didn't leak all everywhere. I think the front seal and the transmission leaks and the valve tappet cover gasket leaks. So yeah, it marks its territory. So anyway, we got this one, this parts machine, and Dad's plan is to tear the top of it off. I think maybe the top, maybe the bottom, I don't know. He wants to try and split the conveyor chain on it and get it out and pick the best parts of those 2 conveyor chains to put the best parts in that other one. But all right, that plow, the clutch lift sticks on it. That plow needs tires. That's a pretty good plow over there. Something you don't see every day. Minneapolis Mowing bush hog, and then 4 bottom hydraulic, 3 bottom trip, and a 2 bottom trip. We plowed with the 2 and the 3 bottom. We tried to plow with the 4 bottom last fall. We just got it. It's got some adjustment issues yet. All right, well, I think I'm gonna call that a video. I'll see if I can get this uploaded from the phone. Anyway, I'll be back.